Welcome to the Vault Studios NFL podcast, an Australian twist on all things NFL. The boys are cracking into a nice cold beer from Burnley Brewing. Let's join them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first live show of the year. I'm your host, JA, and I am joined by the great man himself. I'm going to unmute right now. Corey, or C Money 52, as he likes to be known by. How are you, Corey?
I'm good, JA. Really excited about week one, and I'll have to be going to bed pretty quickly here. So,
well, you live in Western Australia, and so the games will start at about 9 p.m., don't they, over there? Because they're far behind the rest of the world.
Or 1 a.m., either or.
1 a.m. So it's 3 a.m. in Melbourne. It's not too bad. It's going to be an early morning, but I've already had one game, which it wasn't as good a game, but it told us some things about the Bills, which we'll go through shortly. But super excited to get into the NFL season. It's the longest off season in sport, so cannot wait to watch it tomorrow morning. It's the only time I'm ever excited to get up at 3 a.m. unless I'm going overseas, which doesn't happen very often. So it's really the only time. I'll just quickly thank our sponsors, Burnley Brewing. As I said, I'm not cracking into one tonight because I'm going to get up pretty early, so I'm trying to keep myself clean. But I have enjoyed a few on the weekend. Corey, I do have to send a few over to you all the way in Western Australia.
Yes.
Let's launch into it, mate. We've got a lot of games to go through. What the thing we're going to do this year, guys, Corey's on board, obviously, from the Fantasy Football Show. He's going to come on board for the Sunday nights as more of a betting specialist. Corey, do you want to give your little Discord a plug? Not your little, I shouldn't say little Discord. Do you want to give your Discord a plug?
Yeah, for sure. I'm in the Cap Collective Discord. You can find it on Twitter at Cap Collective. Come join. It's a lot of fun. We got, I think, 8 or 9 cappers in there right now, including myself. So everyone's giving out plays and from every sport, from baseball, basketball, Korean baseball.
Korean baseball. You going to
That's me. I'm Korean baseball. So that's all sorts of entertainment, fun, and a good place to just talk betting. So check it out at Cap Collective on Twitter. If you're having trouble, just DM me at cmoney52 on Twitter or J, and I'll send through a link.
Done. Lock it in. Well, let's launch into it, and let's start with the Thursday night game, which was Friday morning here, where the Buffalo Bills won the game 31-10. Corey, I don't know about you, but this game could have been a lot worse if you're a Rams fan, because the Bills turned the ball over 3 times in the first half, which pretty much stopped them scoring, allowed the Rams back into it, but they turned it on in the second half, and Josh Allen was absolutely outstanding. If he plays like that all season, he's going to be well and truly the MVP of the league.
Yeah, it was an interesting game. The Bills actually didn't blitz one time the whole game. They played their cover 2 shell, which both teams did. And we'll see a lot of that week one, just because that's the NFL these days. But the amount of pressure they got has to be worrying for the Rams. Matthew Stafford struggles with pass rush at the best of times, so that showed true. I'm not going to say it's any excuse or anything, but the Rams know what they need to work on, and the Bills came out firing in week one. I mean, that's what you want when you're, predicted to be the best team in the league, I guess.
And Von Miller was a surprise to me. I kind of thought he was done. I thought I still think the contract's stupid. There's no way he plays out that contract, but it's back. It's front-ended anyway. But he was outstanding in this game. He was one of the big differences. A guy who came directly from the LA Rams last year and has now gone to Buffalo, made a huge difference to that pass rush. It helped their outstanding back end. Cover guys up. Cooper Kupp was still really good. So anyone who was thinking Cooper Kupp was going to drop off, maybe we were wrong. I think he will still have a really good season. Allen Robinson was almost unheard of, which a lot of the film junkies are breaking it down and showing that he was open a lot. So, hopefully it's on the sign of him struggling, but more just that the continuity with him and Matt Stafford, who haven't had a lot of training together because Stafford's been hurt from his shoulder.
I would just caveat, I'm a fantasy guy as well. With Allen Robinson, I'd be in more of a panic station with him rather than Cam Akers at this point, just because we saw a lot of this with Robert Woods last year as well. If you take out Robert Woods' huge game from last year, it was a lot of this, a lot of 2 catches for 20 yards or whatever. So just be very, very wary of Allen Robinson going forward.
And just for the record, I think the Bills were outstanding. Everyone thought that they were going to be one of the top teams in the NFL, so no one should be really surprised of that. But on a side note, I'm not worried about the Rams. Their players were still, like, Donald was still good, Cooper Kupp was still good. Stafford made a few mistakes, but he was under pretty immense pressure. I think they'll get it right. I think they just came across a really, really good Buffalo team, and everyone was pretty right on where Buffalo are heading. Let's get into our previews now, and we will start with the Saints at the Falcons. A real barn burner, this one. Jameis Winston going against Marcus Mariota. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they were the 1 and 2 pick in the draft a few years ago, yeah? Have I got
Mariota was a while ago now. But,
a while ago, yeah. But I've got the right draft, haven't I? It was Winston 1, Mariota 2. Everyone was fighting over who was going to be better.
Yeah, I think you're right. If that was the case, then I don't know who's right and who's wrong still.
Wow. Look, I'm going to look at what I'm kind of excited to watch in this game, because I think the Saints are a much better team than the Falcons. I think they'll win. The Saints defense, I'm interested to see how they go. They're meant to be kind of one of the top defenses this year, but we'll see. Defenses year to year vary a lot, so they're hard to repeat. So we'll see how that goes for the Saints. But I'm really excited to see Kyle Pitts with Marcus Mariota. That's kind of what you watch the Falcons for at the moment. They don't have a lot of else excitement going on. I also want to see Michael Thomas from the Saints and see how he's recovered from injury. Rumors are he might play.
Sounds like he will.
Sounds like he's going to play now. So I'm excited to see those two. Kyle Pitts in particular, because he's in my fantasy team, so I'm very excited to see how he goes. But Corey, I believe, first of all, who you got in this game? I've got the Saints winning comfortably, and then give us a prop bet.
Yeah, I definitely have the Saints winning this game. As for the prop bet, I'm looking at Alvin Kamara, 60+ yards. That's the alt line. The real line is 60.5. I'm going to play it safe. Take that half point, 60.5, or sorry, plus 60+, and that's $1.80. It's $1.80.
Because I'm either gonna talk about how good you are, or I'm gonna just hammer you for getting them all wrong. So there's a bit of pressure on. You know I'm a fickle bitch, so I'll turn quick. We both have the Saints in that one. Let's go through to one of the most exciting games of week 1 for sure. People who don't know, the Browns traded Baker Mayfield to the Panthers after selling their soul for Deshaun Watson, who's now suspended for 11 games for, I'm not going to get into what for. If you want to look it up, feel free. There's plenty of information on it. I'm done talking about it now. But it just so turns out the football gods have gifted us with Baker Mayfield playing the Cleveland Browns at home in week 1. There's been a lot of talk this week. Baker's been talking a bit of shit. He also said that Myles Garrett also said that there's basically no connection, and that Baker sent him a message after he left saying it was great playing with you, blah, blah, blah. And Mayfield, Myles Garrett just never replied to him, which I think's just insane. This is exciting. I don't know who's better out of these two teams without Deshaun. If they had Deshaun Watson, it's the Browns, but I don't know. These are two pretty unknown teams, and two teams that could be interesting as the season unwinds. But the excitement of Baker Mayfield, Baker going back against his old team, there's no way he loses this football game. He's going to kick the living craps out. This is the Cleveland Browns. Don't let the last 2 years trick you. They are one of the worst franchises in the history of sport, and Baker's going to absolutely take him to town. I think it's going to be a blowout win for the Panthers.
Wow. That is very interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
Going hard.
Because the line has shifted so much. Like Carolina was, I believe they got up to 2.5 point favorites in this one. Then it moved all the way back to Cleveland up as a 1.5 favorite. Currently, it's basically a pick 'em with Cleveland Browns getting 0.5 points. So I think I want to go with Cleveland winning this one in like a field goal at the end or something like that. So Cleveland, I'm going to go with Cleveland, and prop bet is Robbie Anderson over 2.5 receptions at $1.74. So I think Robbie Anderson is obviously the forgotten man in this team with Christian McCaffrey's healthy. everyone's back. Terrence Marshall, the rookie they drafted last year. They got Laviska Shenault there now. Robbie Anderson, he just needs 3 catches. I think he gets there.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not sold on the Laviska Shenault signing either, or the trade either. Like, I don't think he's going to be anything special. Are you a fan of him? I think you're a fan of him, aren't you?
I love Laviska. That Jaguars crap show that was going on there last year, I don't think that helped him any. But we'll see how he goes. I don't think he's going to have a big role this week, but I think, DJ Moore, your Christian McCaffrey, most people will be on Christian McCaffrey. This is kind of a sneaky prop with going with Robbie Anderson. So,
yep, beautiful. I like it. Let's go. So, you've got Browns. I've got Panthers. I got Panthers in a blowout. Baker's going to kill them. It's going to embarrass them. 49ers at the Chicago Bears. Again, this is a horrible, horrible week 1 matchup for the Chicago Bears. The 49ers are so much better than them in every way. There's really no comparison. I guess if I look at teams I want to look at, it's Trey Lance. We want to see what Trey Lance can do. The reins have been handed over to him. I know Jimmy Garoppolo is still there, but he took a big pay cut. He's clearly the backup there now. I want to see what the lunch tray can do and see if he can deliver some, because I'm not sold on him yet, but I'm also not sold on Justin Fields. This is a real good opportunity to see 2 young quarterbacks duel it out. The good thing for lunch tray is that he's got a ton of good receivers around him, which Justin Fields doesn't. So I think the 49ers are going to win this one again. Week 1's a weird week. You never know, but I think the 49ers are going to win this one pretty handily. I don't think the Chicago Bears are going to be very good at all this season.
Yeah, I think the 49ers win this game. I don't think it's particularly close unless Trey Lance has a shocker of a game. I think San Francisco probably will play a little bit more conservatively, I think. But, if they get a big lead early on, I don't see them just having Trey Lance just air it out constantly. So I think Eli Mitchell could have a good game. I think, depending on how they use Debo, he could have a good game. But my prop is going to be David Montgomery over 14.5 yards receiving. It's $1.93 currently, so you're getting a little bit of value there. I just think if Chicago's down in this game, they're going to have to throw the ball over, and I think David Montgomery could end up with 3, 4, 5 catches, and there's no reason for him not to get to 14.5 yards if that's the case.
And he's their genuine bell cow there. I think he's going to get the bulk. And if he stays healthy, he's going to get the bulk of the carries, the bulk of the receptions out of the backfield. I think he's going to be the feature back there, for lack of a better word. Now, they also signed Alex Leatherwood, or they claimed Alex Leatherwood, so they've added an elite offensive lineman who's got cut after a year by the Raiders, the poor bugger. But yeah, I don't see. Do you see any way the Bears win this?
No, not unless there's serious turnover issues or special teams errors or something like that.
Which then means that the 49ers have got bigger issues. If they lose this game because of quarterback issues, it's going to open up a lot of media speculation around Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh yeah, that'll be a nightmare.
It'll be good. It'll be good fun for us though.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's move on to the Steelers at the Bengals. Corey, I don't know how to tell you this. The Steelers are slowly starting to bring me around to them. I don't hate Mitch Trubisky. I think they're going to run the crap out of the ball. I think Najee Harris is going to be super productive. I think their defense is going to be really good still with TJ Watt. Tell me I'm crazy. I don't think the Bengals are nearly as good as what they were. I don't think they were nearly as good as where they got last year. I think they were lucky in some ways to get to the Super Bowl, and I know they've got Joe Burrow and he's the ultimate outlier and he's a winner and all that, but something is telling me here that the Steelers are going to go on the road and just start a bit of a Super Bowl hangover for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow, that's a big call. I don't know if they win.
I can't explain
it. I know you can't explain it. I don't hate Mitchell Trubisky either, but I want to see it first. I want to see what this offense looks like.
Yeah,
I think there's just a lot of question marks going in to the Pittsburgh season. But yeah, I think the Bengals win this game. I don't know if they cover though. 6.5 points is a bit steep for me. As for props go, I think I played this one pretty safe and going with Joe Mixon, 70+ yards rushing. That's $1.83.
That's a nice bet. Big Joey Mix is going to have a huge year, but the Steelers' run defense should be solid too. So you never know. But 70's
He
low.
crushed the Steelers last year. Just absolutely crushed them.
Are you taking the Bengals?
Yeah, I got the Bengals.
I'm taking the Bengals too, but I'm unsure. But you can't bet against a Super Bowl team in week 1. I'm just unsure. But I do love Joe Burrow, and he's kind of the outlier for me.
Need to throw up. We had a comment from David Fitzgerald asking about Burrow over 275.
Yeah,
I do not think so. I think that's a bad bet. I would stay away from Burrow over 275, just because. Yeah, I'm not confident. Like, I think Burrow lucked out last year because he played a lot of bad pass defenses. So let's just see what Burrow does. I think this is more of a Joe Mixon game where they kind of just slow play it. It's a division rival. It's probably gonna get a little bit ugly, and they try to just ground and pound this game away.
Yeah. Also, Louis Glover, our boy Louis G, all the way in Budapest. Welcome, Lewis. Now that I know you're awake at this time, let's get you in next week. Jump in. We'll get the three of us back together again. Let's move on to the Eagles at the Lions. I'm just going to quickly take off my my rose-colored glasses for the Detroit Lions after Hard Knocks, because fuck, I want to run through a wall for Dan Campbell. My God, if you can't get excited for a guy like that, I feel sorry for you. And all people calling him phony and stuff. Like, is he the best coach? Maybe not, but fuck, he loves his players. And that's one thing that came through in Hard Knocks. Surely you agree with that.
Yeah, but I feel like it should wear thin pretty quickly. Like, it's cool like the beginning, and it's like
he'd want to win.
We're still doing this.
He would want to. The only thing that really irritated me with the Hard Knocks, which I mentioned on the NFL show, was when Juice Staley and Aaron Glenn were just getting into it at practice for like an hour. It went on for so long, and it was so fabricated. Like, you could tell that Aaron Glenn was just kind of over it and wanting, like, I want to hear the coaches coaching players, not yelling at each other and talking shit. Like, I'm not interested in that. I don't watch Hard Knocks for that. But yeah, look, the Lions are going to be improved. Are they going to be great? No, I don't think so. Like, Jared Goff's still their quarterback. The two things they have going for them: they have an outstanding offensive and defensive line. The offensive line will definitely be a top 10, probably be a top 5 offensive line after the season. They're very strong. Penei Sewell's going to develop really well. Frank Ragnow in the middle. They're a very good offensive line. I really like Swift this year. I think he's going to do great things for them. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is it Williams? Jamison Williams, the wide receiver they got out of Bama. I'm not a good
he's still banged up. Yeah.
Is he playing?
He's recovering.
Is he? He's not playing in this game?
No, he's recovering from his ACL that he had last year.
Okay. So they've got a lot of pieces. I think everyone's talking the Eagles about they're going to be the cream of the crop of the NFC East.
I love the Eagles this year, and I hate Jalen Hurts, so I don't know how that works, but it does.
I think as a Cowboys fan, I should hate the Eagles. I think they've got a lot of really good players, and it's going to be tough for them not to win the division. Like, if they don't win the division this year, there's something absolutely wrong with them. And it could be Jalen Hurts. But what I'm excited to see tomorrow, obviously the Lions and how they respond with, I want to see, are they going to come out hard? They're going to play hard, all that sort of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, let's see how it all comes together on the field. But I want to see the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. I also want to see Jeff Okudah. He had a lackluster rookie year where he got hurt a bit, then missed all of last season. He was a number 3 overall pick. If he can come back and be a really good cornerback for them and live up to the hype of what that number 3 pick was and what he was in college, it could really change the trajectory of that defense with how strong their defensive line is. Also want to see Aiden Hutchinson. I think that guy's going to be an absolute dude, and I'm excited to watch him play. In saying that, though, as much as my heart wants the Lions to win, the Eagles are going to win, and I think they're going to win pretty comfortably. I think they're going to be a little bit too strong for the Lions.
Yeah, I think you went a little too long on the Detroit Lions love there. I think you too much Hard Knocks for you. The Eagles win this game. I think Detroit is frisky, but at the end of the day, they just don't have enough to get there. As for props, I'm going to give you a sneaky one here as well. Jared Goff over 1.5 touchdowns is plus 105. So I think Jared Goff gets you 2 touchdowns in this game. Where they go, who knows? That's not my job is to give you 1 prop, not 3. So I'll give you Jared Goff over 1.5 touchdowns in this game.
I like it. I actually like that. I think Jared Goff's going to have a solid year. I don't think he's going to be unbelievable, but I think he's going to be good. Like he is a decent quarterback. Is he the best? No, but he could have an Andy Dalton sort of career in Detroit. Like that sort of a guy.
Sure.
Like you can't all be the best. Which I don't know.
That's true.
Let's move on to Colts at Texans. I got to be real honest about this game, Corey. I'm not excited for anyone. I think the only guy I was excited for was Damian Pierce from the Texans.
Yeah.
I think the Colts defensive line and defense are going to eat him fucking alive. They are such a strong front. Talks that Darius Leonard may not be playing tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
Darius Leonard is out. He's officially out now. That's the benefit of doing it so late. So he's out, which makes a big difference. Oh, he's changed his name to Shaq Leonard, hasn't he? He changed his name. He did. He changed his name to Shaquille Leonard, I'm pretty sure. You go, King. That's his name now. His name's now Shaq Leonard. He's an outstanding linebacker, which will help. But I guess what I'm interested to see is how Matt Ryan goes. Is he going to be a massive upgrade on what they've had the last couple of years? I believe he will. Jonathan Taylor, obviously, is the cream of the crop for that team, how they run the ball. Quentin Nelson got a massive contract earlier today, 4 years, $60 million. Huge deal. So he's now the highest paid guard in the NFL. So he'll probably come out and take some heads off tomorrow to celebrate. But look, I don't think the Texans are going to be very good. I don't think they're very well coached. I don't think they're very talented. I'm not super excited to watch them play football. And I think the Colts get this done pretty comfortably against a division rival.
Yeah, I think the Colts get it done. I know that, the earlier line was 8.5. I think there was an 8.5 when this first started. Now it's down to 7.5. I think it got down to 7 at one point, just because it's there's so many home dogs this week. It's a bit scary. Taking these road teams, especially in these division games.
Yeah.
I don't see how the Colts lose this game against Lovie Smith and the Houston Texans. As for props go, I had two choices here. I'm going to go with the safer option here in this one. I got Nyheim Hines over 2.5 catches. That's $1.65. It is juiced to the over. So it's only $1.65. But
over how many?
2.5. Just need 3 catches. Scott, exactly. Lovie Smith is not a good coach.
I hope old Too Hot's being sarcastic with that comment there. We've seen what Lovie Smith brings to the league. I've seen it enough.
Lovie Smith literally left the Bears, and it was a terrible coach everywhere else that he went, including college.
Didn't he get fired from a Div 2 college team?
I don't know if it was D3.
I'm pretty sure it was. I hope he was coaching D1. I've been an absolute fucking asshole to the bloke. All right, who you got winning? You got Colts, surely.
Yeah, I got the Colts. Yep.
Beautiful. Let's move on to your boys.
Oh, no. Please.
Patriots at the Dolphins. Look, Dolphins they're one of the teams to watch. Like, I don't have them making the playoffs. I don't have a lot of faith in them, but it's hard to argue this offseason. They're probably one of the biggest improvers over the offseason. Hill, piece of shit Hill, as we like to call him here. Although he is a piece of shit, he can certainly play football, so he's going to be a big addition. Jalen Waddle was a great rookie for them last year. The O-line's got stronger. Tua's apparently doing really well, but really with the receiving group he's got, all he's got to do is just drop it off to guys who are really fast and they can make plays. So it's exciting. You tell me, as the biggest Patriots fan I know, how the Patriots get a win over the Dolphins here.
How they win? I think how they win is just by confusing Tua, him causing some turnovers. If he throws, 1-2 interceptions, I think that gives them all the momentum in the world in this one, especially with a lot of question marks in that New England secondary. If they can somehow force some turnovers, I think it'll change Miami's game plan up a little bit. The Patriots offensively will need it's a ball control offense, so they need to get something going on the ground, whether that's Damian Harris or Ramondre. That's going to be the key to this game. If they can control the trenches in this one, I think they can have a decent chance in this one, just because the weather doesn't sound particularly great either. So we might have some thunderstorms. Obviously, it's already humid and hot and everything like that as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. But does the Patriots defense wear down over the course of the game?
I am so off the Patriots. It's not funny, Corey.
That's fine.
Do not think they're going to be good. And I know that's the ultimate mistake to doubt Bill Belichick, but he's been acting so bizarre. He's got no coaches. He's got Matt Patricia.
No, when he says do your job, it usually doesn't mean 9 jobs.
Yeah, he's doing a bit much. And yeah, I'm not sold on it. I think the Dolphins have improved enough and they're going to get the win here. They've got a pretty good team. They also added Eric Armstead, which sorry, not Eric Armstead, the left tackle from the Saints, whose first name, Teron Armstead, sorry, from the Saints, who's a premier tackle. And they added Connor Williams from the Cowboys, the best guard in football last year. Who's apparently playing center for them. Did you hear that?
I did not.
Never seen him play a snap at center, so that'll be interesting. I am taking the Dolphins at home comfortably. What's your prop bet?
The prop bet is Chase Edmonds over 38.5 yards rushing. Like I said, I think it's going to be a bit rainy. I don't see Shanahan-style offense coming out here trying to throw the ball 50 times. I think they're going to try to run the ball. I think that means a lot of Mostert, a lot of Chase Edmonds, and I think he gets over 38.5 yards in a little sloppy game.
Awesome. Let's move on to the Ravens at the Jets, or what should now formally be known as the Joe Flacco revenge game. Big Smokin' Joe is coming back to Baltimore. Got Baltimore coming back to him. One of the worst offenses in football the Jets are going to be. You cannot convince me otherwise. Their offensive line is garbage. The one guy I had faith in was Mekhi Becton, who's out for the year. I don't think they've done enough. I think they're in huge trouble. I also think that they also brought in DeJuan Brown, the left tackle, who's now on IR for the first 4 games. Their replacement for Mekhi Becton isn't going to play. So, and George Fant, who's their 3rd string left tackle, is also not playing. So they've got real issues on the offensive line, real issues at quarterback. As I said during the week, if Zach Wilson was there and there was a couple of mums on the Ravens team, maybe he'd have a chance. But unfortunately, there's not. So he doesn't have a chance. I think Ravens are going to be one of the best teams in the AFC this year. And I think they're going to start by absolutely thumping the New York Jets. Thumping them, embarrassing them.
Yep, and I think this is Lamar Jackson just come out and just does whatever he wants in this game.
He turned down the contract as well. He gave him till Friday, and apparently they offered him like the Deshaun Watson deal, basically, and he turned it down.
No, that is not what I heard. I heard they offered basically the Russell Wilson type deal. I think he just wants a fully guaranteed contract, so he's not budging.
I like it by him. He's his own agent. He's saying, you know what, I'm a really good player. If you don't give it to me, someone else is going to give it to me. And they will. Someone else will give it to him. I guarantee you someone else will give it to him. In a heartbeat.
We never really see quarterbacks hit the open market. And when they do, they just get tons of money thrown at them. So
exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And my prop bet goes right along with that. I'm taking Lamar Jackson to have 60+ rushing yards. It's at $1.95. And just FYI, if you're doing this on Sportsbet, his line is 59.5 and it's $1.88. If you go to the alt and do 60+, which you just need 60, the same as the line, it's $1.95. So you get extra, 7 cents of value there.
I knew I got you on here for the right reasons. That's what everyone out here listening, watching. That's what you're here for. Value bets. Make yourself some money. Gamble responsibly, though. Always. Let's move on to. Look, realistically, this could be the shittest game of the week. Jaguars at the Commanders. I guess I want to see.
I actually love this game.
You like this game? You're excited for a Wentz v. Lawrence?
I might put this in on my iPad over here when I'm watching tonight. You
are a liar. You're lying to everyone. And you know what the saddest part is, Corey? You're mostly lying to yourself. So I am not excited for this game. Chase Young's not playing. He's about the only person I like watching on Washington. Scary Terry's all right. I don't mind him, but he's also got Carson Wentz throwing him the ball. I guess I'm interested to see how Travis Etienne goes with Lawrence. I want to see Lawrence develop and turn in. We're going to know in the first few weeks if Lawrence is going to be, the guy that everyone thinks he's going to be. it's hard. It's unfair to rank him off what happened last year with a crappy offense. Urban Meyer kicking players at practice and staying to cheat on his wife at bloody Ohio after they lose. Like, it was an absolute shit show last year. So I'm going to just give him a fresh start, but I am not sold on him. But I can see, like, he's obviously got the talent. You don't go number one over. You don't be the unanimous number one pick if you're not talented. So I want to see it. Also want to see, like, Christian Kirk, Evan Engram. They've added some guys. Can they be a productive offense this year? And also Walker, the first round pick, who number one overall pick, who no one's really heard anything about. There's been no hype about him at all, which is either a really good thing or a really bad thing in my eyes. I'm going to lean towards being a good thing, and he's going to be a solid player. And I think the Jaguars are going to win this game over Washington because they're going to be garbage all year. They're going to win it over Washington, not comfortably, but probably 24-21, that sort of a thing.
Yeah, I like the Jags as well in this game. I'm very interested to see what this offense looks like with a competent coach. As for props, Trevor Lawrence passing TDs was very intriguing, but I'm not going to do that. That was plus 129 or $2.29. I'm going back and forth between American odds and decimal odds.
The American. I've only just worked out Australian odds, and then I look at the American, and it just blows my brain. I don't understand what they're talking about at all.
Yeah, it's still hard for me to get around, but I can do it. I just need some
and
time.
You are American, if anyone didn't know.
But yes, I am. But I prefer the decimal odds system a lot better. But I'm going to go with a guy I don't like at all very much as a fantasy player, and that's Antonio Gibson. His rushing yards is at 56.5, and I'm going over and it's currently at $1.98, so some value there.
Over 60.5. Well, who would have thought the best thing that happened to Antonio Gibson in the last 2 weeks was a shooting? Because he wasn't even going to start. It was going to be Robinson. 100% it was going to be Robinson.
56.5, not 60.5.
56.5. That's not bad. But literally, it's given him an opportunity to show what he's got. Because I quite like Antonio Gibson too as a runner. He's been quite good in the past. So he needs to showcase what he's got, because when Robinson's back and healthy, looks like they're gonna roll with him anyway. So very interesting. Give me the Jaguars purely because I hate Washington, but give me the Jaguars, and let's move on to another team I can't stand, the New York Giants, going to the Titans.
I like this game.
Do you know why I like this game? And this is going to shock you here. I'm calling an upset alert. I think the Giants are going to. I think they're going to beat the Titans.
I'm with you.
Derrick Henry. I think it's time. I think Derrick Henry is going to drop off. I just don't think you can have so many carries, break your leg, be that bad in the playoffs last year, and then come back. Their offensive lines got worse. Their offense as a whole has got worse. Tannehill struggled down the stretch. If that's what he's going to be like, they're going to be way worse. Defensively, I don't hate them, but I'm predicting a big Saquon game, big bounce-back Saquon game, and I think the Giants are going to steal one on the road over the Tennessee Titans.
I can't disagree with you. I like the Giants in this game as well. I like them better with 5.5 points, but I'm happy to take a shot at the underdog here in the Giants. And then just kind of getting over the top of Titans here. Like, the Titans defense is a little bit scary to me. Like, they don't really have any pass rushers anymore.
Landry's injured.
They lost Harold as well. It's just a tough look for them right now. I'm sure Vrabel will come up with something, but in the meantime, I think this might be Saquon is back kind of game. So with that, I'm going with Saquon Barkley over 55.5 yards rushing in this game.
Saquon over 55.5 yards. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I reckon he's going to get that easy. Who are you taking? You're taking Giants too?
Yeah, I'm taking Giants too.
Also, Thibodeau's playing, which is interesting. I'm interested to see how he goes.
Yeah.
And he'll be going up against Taylor Lewan a lot, Taylor Lewan, what he lacks in, he's a very good tackle, but what he lacks in some ability, he makes up for in, nastiness. He's a tough dude. So also has a terrific podcast. If anyone haven't heard it, very entertaining. Let's go to the Chiefs at the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes, I love this game too.
Why do you love this game? Explain it to me.
Because I can't wait for Mahomes just to destroy the Cardinals.
Okay, so you're on the You said I'm the same. I think looking back at the Cardinals last season, which I did look at during the week, they made the playoffs by a game or half a game. So if you take that insane DeAndre Hopkins catch to win the game against Buffalo off them, they don't make the playoffs last year. They started really well. They dropped off down the stretch. It was the same old story. Kyler Murray was hurt. Kyler Murray was struggling and didn't do a good job down the stretch. So I think that's going to continue. Hopefully he's been doing a lot of study as his contract stipulates and hasn't been playing too much Madden or Call of Duty because you can get in trouble for that. But, you're missing Hopkins tomorrow. You're missing Zach Ertz tomorrow. You're missing Rondale Moore tomorrow. Look, Hollywood Brown can go deep, but that's about the only trick he's got. I think the Chiefs are going to absolutely run it up on the Cardinals. I think they're just going to run it up on them. Mahomes is going to have a huge year. He's an MVP candidate for me, and they'll start off real hot in this game.
Yeah, for sure. I like the Chiefs. I was looking at Mahomes' passing yards, but he's got one of the highest lines there are this week. It's at 286.5. Definitely could get to 300 and like 3 touchdowns, but I'm going to go with Juju Smith-Schuster over 46.5 yards receiving at $1.88. So I like Juju in this spot. I like Juju. Like the Cardinal secondary is non-existent. I think Juju's the new guy on the block. They're going to give him some love here, and I think he can easily get 6-7 catches here for 60, 70 yards actually. So if you want to look in those bonus markets, there you go.
Absolutely, I like Juju. Do you think he's going to be the man there?
I think they're going to spread it around pretty heavily. I think Sky Moore is going to get involved. I think even Marquez Valdes-Scantling could be that big play guy. I think, catching like 3 balls for like 70 yards and touchdown, type deal. Sort of like we saw with the Bills there and Gabe Davis. So, yeah, I think he'll spread out around a lot. Kelsey's another issue as well. So that guy's going to get fed plenty in his 33rd. He's 33 years old now, so I think this might be his last big season.
Fair enough. Let's go to one of the games of the week. I have the Raiders visiting the Chargers. I've got the Chargers being one of the best teams in football this year. I think Herbert's going to go to another level. I think with the receiving group he's got around him, they're going to be absolutely outstanding. But they have a tough matchup. They've got a really tough division. The Raiders are a very good team. Devontae Adams, Darren Waller just got a big new contract. Hunter Renfrow, who Derwin James talks about being one of the hardest matchups in football, and they're playing this week. If this was at the Raiders, I'd probably take the Raiders. That's how close I think they are. I think the Chargers win this game. JC Jackson's doubtful, which does hurt them. He's a guy who can play on Devontae Adams and do a good job. But I'm taking Herbert. I'm taking Williams. I'm taking Keenan Allen. And they're going to get the job done at home and start their season off the right way. But I also think the Raiders are a really good team. So I'm excited to see how they go about it. This could be 2 of the best teams in football. Unfortunately for the Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos, they're all in the same division. I think they're all really good. So they're all going to beat each other up, which is going to be hard for 2 of those teams are going to miss out most likely. So let's see how that goes. Anything else I like on this one? Not particularly. I really like Derek Carr too. I don't think he's as good as Herbert, but I really do like Derek Carr. So yeah, let's see. Corey, who have you got?
Yeah, I got the Chargers as well. I think they take care of business in this one. Actually, I think there's just a little bit too much unknown with the Raiders at the moment. Like obviously Josh McDaniels is there now. Like what's that offense going to look like? How are they going to use Devontae Adams? How are they going to use Hunter Renfrow? All these are big question marks that we really don't know the answers to. How are the running backs going to get involved? Is Josh Jacobs going to be the guy, or they're going to mix it up? Are we going to see 3 different running backs back there? And just, what this offense looks like is going to be very intriguing. If it looks similar to what, the Patriots look like the last few years, even with Mac Jones last year, they were very efficient. They were a top 10 offense. Are they? And this is probably the most weapons that Josh McDaniels has ever had since 2007?
Since the Randy Moss year.
Since Moss, Welker, and co. So
was Gronk there when Moss and Welker were there?
No.
I don't reckon he was there yet.
No. So this is definitely the most talented group of players that he's had. It'll be interesting to see how how that all gets distributed out in this game. But
did you say Josh McDaniels? Did you say Josh McDaniels, or did you use his real name, Snake McDaniels?
I said Josh.
Okay, because his name's Snake, just so you know.
Okay, sorry.
Snake McDaniels.
Get that clarified now. I was looking at Austin Eckler in this game as being kind of a focal point in the offense. Looking at his receiving yards is at 35.5. I don't like doing running back receiving yards too much because it's very dependent on game script and things like that. So I might zig here, and I'm going to go with Derek Carr passing touchdowns over 1.5 at $1.71. So it is juiced a little bit, but you just talked about how kind of like Derek Carr. I think
over
in the
1.5.
red zone. In the red zone, I think they look for Devontae Adams. You got Waller, you got Renfro, you got guys that he can throw the ball to in the end zone. I think he gets 2 touchdowns in this game. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that's a pretty safe bet. And as they don't have I don't rate Josh Jacobs that high. They don't have like a dominant running back that they want to use in the red zone for scoring touchdowns. So I could see them throwing the ball to their world-class receiving group.
I mean, and the total's super high, so you expect 3-4 touchdowns from both teams anyway.
Yeah, it'll be a high-scoring one, I think. This next game is one of the games I'm looking forward to the most. Packers at the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to be a surprise team this year. Jefferson, Thielen, Dalvin Cook. They're an improved offensive line. They're not a good offensive line, but they're certainly an improved offensive line. You've got the Packers who have got Elgin Jenkins and David Bakhtiari, both questionable for tomorrow. They're their 2 outstanding offensive linemen. If you lose them, you then have a good Vikings pass rush coming at you with Hunter. And they signed another DN. They've got Zadarius Smith, who is absolutely coming to take heads off, and he's made it very clear that he's signed with the Vikings so he could go after Green Bay twice a year. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd be a little bit concerned. He also went after a few of his teammates, saying that they ignored him in the halls and all this sort of stuff. It got fairly nasty. But I think Green Bay start their season with a bit of disappointment, which does tend to happen. They're a slow starting team. We all remember the Aaron Rodgers every year about week 5. It's relax. It'll be fine. In fairness to him, it is fine every time. But I think they'll start slow. I think the Vikings will get them at home tomorrow. I think Jefferson, Thielen, Cook are going to be just a bit too much for them. And with some of the key Packers missing, I think, and Alan Lazard's not playing for the Packers either. I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is even going to throw the ball to. Robert Tonyan coming off a knee injury. There's just not a lot.
To Lizard.
To Lizard? Lazard's not playing.
No, the Lizard. Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins, the Lizard. The Lizard. Yeah, right. If you're hedging your bets on Sammy Watkins,
Sammy Watkins week 1. It's a thing, man. It's a thing. He's going to go for 200 yards receiving.
I'm starting to call you Louis G if you're going to get on the Sammy Watkins hype train. We've seen enough Sammy Watkins to know he's not a valuable player. But you know what? There's no one to catch it. Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the ball. He only had Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball last year, so that was probably the reason he wasn't as successful. Now he's got Aaron Rodgers. I'm taking the Vikings at home. I think they're going to win this one. It'll be a close game. Division rival, first game of season. It's always going to be close. But I think the Vikings, hopefully they fix their kicking woes and they can win some close games this year and get themselves in the playoffs. But I think they start tomorrow with a win.
All right. I agree with you. I like the Vikings in this game. At home, I think they'll lose in Green Bay later in the year, but at home, Vikings, there's not a team in the NFC that has a better home record against the spread and straight up than the Minnesota Vikings. So I'll take the Vikings at home. And as far as props go, I like Adam Thielen over 4.5 receptions. That's plus 102. It's $2.02 currently on Sportsbet. So really good value there for Adam Thielen to get 5 balls. I think he's got a really good rapport with Cousins, and I think he easily catches 5 balls in this game.
Absolutely. I like that one. Let's go to the Sunday night football game where my Dallas Cowboys have got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting them. Tom Brady never lost to the Cowboys before. This game for me is really a bit of a no one really knows what either of these teams are going to be. Like the Cowboys could be good again. I could also see them being terrible. They let a lot of really quality players leave last year. They're missing Michael Gallup. Tyrone Smith on offense is such a huge part of that offense. When he plays, they're a lot better, but they're still extremely talented. They've got a lot of good football players. Micah Parsons on defense. Trayvon Diggs is, he gives up yards, but he's going to generate turnovers for you. Let's see if that continues this year, because if he doesn't get turnovers, I see his value drop very quickly. So I'm unsure, but they're very talented. And then Tampa on the other side, the same thing. They're missing They're missing Ryan Jensen, the offensive lineman. He's out for the year. Their backup centers may be playing. They're not sure yet. They've got a lot of turnover. Leonard Fournette's the size of a house, and it's not the playoffs. But again, they're very talented. They've got Mike Evans. They've got really good defense. Shaq Barrett, Levante David, all those guys. Winston Jr. No, sorry. Who's the safety for them? I love him. Winston. It's Winston, I'm sure.
Antoine, yeah.
And Anton Winston, yeah. So he's good as well. So again, very talented, but a lot of changeover. Tom Brady apparently is divorcing from Giselle. Apparently not. He had to go away for half of it. Winfield, sorry, that's it. Antonio Winfield, the second. Yeah, so they've got there's a lot up in the air for both these teams, and we're going to know a lot about both these teams tomorrow. I think last year this was the opening game of the season on the Thursday night, and it was an outstanding game where the Bucs won with a last-second field goal. I think we're going to see something similar. Cowboys. I'm never confident. I'm never confident in my Cowboys, but I think this is going to be a close game. It's going to be high scoring, and it's going to be entertaining, if nothing else. Sunday Night Football, but Brady has never lost to the Cowboys for a reason. It's because you got a bit more clutch than the Cowboys, and I think they'll win a close game on the road.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be close at all. I think Tampa Bay destroys the Cowboys.
Wow.
I just don't like anything I see out of the Cowboys at the moment. They're not going to be able to run the ball in this game against that Tampa Bay defense. They basically abandoned the run week 1 last year. Dak Prescott threw 58 times, but he had a little bit more weapons going on. Is Gallup playing? It doesn't sound like it.
No, Gallup's out. He's out.
So you got freaking Noah Brown out there and Jalen Tolbert as the secondary options to CeeDee Lamb.
Maybe CeeDee Lamb and Schultz.
I don't love it. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Buccaneers roll, and if you're looking at those big win, little win combos right now, the Buccaneers to win by 14 plus is $4.60. So that's looking pretty juicy. The prop that I like the most in this game, and I gave this one out on Twitter, is Dak Prescott to throw over 35.5 attempts. So he needs to throw the ball 36 times in this game. That's $1.79. I think he does it, because I don't think they can run the ball on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they're going to throw it. Throw it a lot.
There you go. Fair enough. I don't like the way you're going after my Cowboys like that. Very keen.
Sorry, man.
It's borderlining on bullying. Lewis never did that to me. So I just have to think about how I feel. But pretty heartbroken at this point. But I think I'm scared, because you might be right too. There's a lot of things telling me that could be what happens. That's it, Corey. That's what. Obviously, they've got the Monday Night Football game, which is Seattle and Denver. We'll discuss that on the NFL show tomorrow night. Just quickly, have you got a prop bet for that one? You might as well throw it in if you've got one.
Yeah, just throw me on the bus, and I'll quickly try to find you one. What's interesting about that game is the line, like just sitting at 6.5. I think the betting public will bet that up. I think you might be able to get like a 7.5. That goes to 7.5. I kind of like the Seahawks to cover. But as far as props go, I'll just give you one that I give you a touchdown score that I liked, and that's Melvin Gordon, anytime touchdown at $2.90. I think there's a lot of talk about him being the goal line back and the 2-minute offense guy, everything like that. So I think Melvin Gordon gets in the end zone against the Seahawks.
What's he need? Just over one.
Just needs a touchdown.
All right, we've got that on. Well, let's see how you go. We'll keep track of this as we go through. Thanks for everyone. Go Gino. We'll finish it on that. Yeah, Gino versus Russell. Just quietly though, Monday Night Football games week 1 are
weird.
It would not surprise me if Seattle got a win over. It means a lot to Seattle too, beating Russell Wilson. I know he wants to sit in the mirror and talk about how, what do they say, Broncos ride or whatever he keeps saying.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. That's thing.
Broncos country. That's right.
He's fucking unbearable. Lucky that guy can play football, I swear to God, because he is just insufferable. But I think that'll be an interesting game. We'll discuss that on the NFL show tomorrow night, where we'll do, myself and Richie will talk all week one overreactions, which there'll be plenty of them. Trust me, they'll be good fun. Fantasy football show will be later in the week, which is yourself, Corey, and Brad, the new host, who's absolutely outstanding, does a great job. So get around Brad and Corey. And also the college football boys have got a lot to discuss. Did you watch the Alabama-Texas game this morning?
I did not. I watched. Did you see the Appalachian State game?
I did see that game too.
And the mayhem after.
Crazy. That's it. There's nothing better than a team upsetting something like that and then just relishing in their own glory for hours afterwards. Like Texas A&M must have just been sitting there going, this is worse than losing the game, seeing these guys celebrate over and over again. It was outstanding. Corey, thank you, mate, for being here. Really appreciate it. You'll see me and Corey every week. Hopefully we can get a few other guests in. I know Louis G will be back at some point. Now that I know he's up in Budapest, as he commented tonight, he's made a big mistake. I'll be handing him to get the three of us back together in the same room. Tune to us every Sunday night. Thank you to Burnley Brewing, our sponsor. Everyone get to sleep. It's fucking Christmas Eve and football starts tomorrow, and I cannot wait. So thank you for tuning in, and you'll see us next week.